Live from Studio 3, this is Packaging Today with Evelio Matos, Adam Peak, and Corey Connors. Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? It's Monday, June 17th. We are down one co-host. We got Adam Peak, singer-songwriter of the Post of the Week.
the fame song Post of the Week.
That's right. We were gonna have it digital, but we can just have it live every week with you.
Yeah, I draw a lot of my inspiration from the tremendous work of the songwriter from Dora the Explorer, who coined the song "I'm a Map," where they just say what it is over and over. I'm a map. 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 That's where I draw my inspiration. I'm very minimalist in my songwriting.
Yeah.
Fred Durst would be another one. We keep rolling. We keep rolling. It's just I don't need a lot of complexity.
Yeah, not a lot from like a Two Live Crew or anything like that.
I grew up Baptist, Evelio. I was not allowed to listen to. I did. You know what I did find out though? This is very exciting. Is I'm going to be in Las Vegas in July, so don't be too jealous, because everybody wants to be in 172-degree heat. But Raekwon and Ghostface Killah will be doing a show, which I'm very excited to attend, because apparently 90s rap artists are just killing it in Las Vegas.
They're coming back
because of people like me who are in our mid 40s and are like, I want to go watch all the people I used to not be able to go watch when I was 15 because the shows were 21 and over.
Yeah, it's like when when your parents wanted to go see like the Love and Spoonful because they were in town.
Oh yeah,
90s. You're like, oh my god, why do you want to see this?
I went to I saw Chubby Checker, I saw the Beach Boys, Three Dog Night. So it was like I want to see Two Live Crew. I saw Three Dog Night. It was okay.
Yeah,
I don't have it. I didn't have it queued up. How was your Father's Day, Evelio?
That was good. It was good. I got a shirt, packaging shirt. I went to packagingfashion.com, picked up a shirt.
Hey,
check this out right here.
Everyone should go to packagingfashion.com and pick up shirts.
That's right. No, it was good, man. And Arizona was like only 110, so it wasn't too bad. Definitely considering moving to Salt Lake where it's not as hot. But what do we got? We got a bunch of packaging stuff going on.
We do. My Father's Day was fine. Thanks, Evelio.
Are you a father? Oh, that's right. You got 5 kids.
5 kids, 1 wife.
3 wives.
No, just the one. Just the one wife.
How was your Father's Day, Adam?
Oh, thanks, Evelio. It was great. I watched golf. I took a nap.
Nice. And then you got your golf shirt on. So yeah.
No. This is my gift from my kids. It's Jamal Murray hitting a shot over Anthony Davis. It says the shot,
just like chip it
280. No, those are different sports. Golf and basketball are different sports.
Perfect.
But you are trying to put a ball into the hole. That's
the same thing.
Yeah, it's basically the same level of athleticism required.
But yeah, 100% same.
It's not nearly as nice as your shirt, though. I will say I'm very jealous, and I'm going to go to packagingfashion.com, packagingfashion.com to get the latest in packaging fashion, which is really only 3 options.
That's right. Yeah. So there was a couple of posts this week that I thought were pretty interesting. We're going to talk about one.
Is it
no,
post of the week? No, it's not.
No, the first one. I don't know if you saw it, was Wu-Tang's mystery album.
I saw this with the disgraced pharmaceutical guy.
Yeah. That album is pretty damn awesome. Do you remember what it's called?
It's something about Shaolin. I don't remember the name of it though. I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah, it's Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. That's right.
Yeah. But so basically, Martin Scarelli, he lost access to it once he released it. The courts took it away from him, and then they just resold it to a company for like $4 million.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But the crazy part is the box itself. I'm gonna go ahead and share this because if you haven't seen this album, do you know the story behind this album, Adam?
Yeah, so essentially, where music has been completely, it's accessible to everybody, and almost anybody can make it. Wu-Tang and all of their genius, and they're geniuses, and I've always been ahead of their time. Decided to make one album, and they had a single release party where somebody could listen to it, and then it was like locked down until a certain time in the future.
Yeah.
They wanted to make it the most exclusive album ever known to man. So, but let's talk about the packaging because I haven't really seen it.
Yeah, this packaging, it's silver. There's a whole story where they went to Morocco or Marrakesh, where they had this guy who is an architect for palaces, and he made this box, and they made it in like multiple places, so nobody could know what it was. Um, but it's like a box with a key, and then actually there's an outer box to this thing. And then when you get inside, there's like this leather bound thing, but there's only one disc.
Yep.
And like there's a video where it kind of breaks down the entire process of this thing, man. It is crazy. And these guys just released it once. I think like Cher is on it. They've got a bunch of guest artists on here. So it's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty elaborate overall, just from a packaging standpoint of like, all right, this is everything that we're doing. We're throwing everything at it. But no, I mean, that's a killer album.
Yeah, and the idea that it still hasn't really leaked. Like, I haven't listened to it, and I haven't really searched for it, but
Some of it's available out there
I
from,
assume there's something, but
yeah.
there's still something incredible about exclusivity, and I know that it's a big phrase in packaging, but you look at what Wu-Tang did for this. Everything about it was exclusive. So was that I saw that was on the IDP Direct page?
Yeah,
That
you can check
share?
that out. Yeah,
Okay,
you can check
cool.
that
I'll
out
go check
there.
it out.
But, I think it might be on my page as well.
Okay,
Um,
that's great.
and no, that album's crazy. So we're gonna look at post of the week, and then we're gonna bring up our guest today.
How was
We've
that?
got.
How was that not post of the week? How was Wu-Tang Clan not post of the week?
I know I really wanted it to be,
Because
but
week rhymes with peak. I could have dropped some bars, but I'm not going to anymore.
no, we missed out.
Yeah.
Missed out. No, all right. So check out. This is the post of the week.
Post of the week. Post of the week. Post of the week.
Perfect.
So stupid.
We are we're just entertaining ourselves.
We
Right.
we are. The 0 people. Is anyone
zero
even
people watching.
commenting? Where is everybody?
Where are you, Hugh?
Where's our people?
We got Brandon Jones coming on, so he
We
can't
released-
comment. Maybe
yeah.
he could comment. Let us know he's on it. No, all right. So then, post of the week, we got this paper bottle. I mean, this thing does not die. These paper bottles don't die. They keep putting out more paper bottles, and then the argument continues. Like, is it better? Is it not better? For me, it's kind of it's sustainable, but Tommy Bonnie over Bobby Grafiska kind of gets into like the issue with it, and especially in different countries, which if we kind of get through, I think he's in like Sweden. He's up in the Nordic countries, and up there you've got a couple of different bins. These bottles tend to go into the plastics, and it actually processes through plastic, which means the paper is not going to get recycled. So there's a lot of challenges there when we get into how to process this, how to separate paper bottles. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on these paper bottles? And we'll bring up our guests here to kind of dig into paper bottles.
Yeah.
And
first of all, shout out to Chris and Fred and John. Thanks for letting us know that you can hear us on the internet. Yeah, I mean, the whole paper bottle thing, I think is some sort of an iteration or a step, but it certainly is not the end. It's not even close to an end goal for sustainability, because it is problematic, and that's been pretty well documented. I think the idea of, because glass is so heavy and because plastics are so problematic when they get out into outside of either a landfill or a recycling stream, and plastic recycling has documented to have a lot of difficulties. I think there are people who are striving towards a solution. This is a stride, but that's all it is to me. I think it's a flash in the pan. I don't think that it's not sustainable in the sense that they're difficult to make. They're way more expensive to manufacture. It's got multiple parts instead of just one piece of plastic. If you've ever seen like a plastic bottle, for example, just get like they ship in these little tiny preforms, right? And then they just get molded and then filled. I agree with John, right? Like mono materials, but it's just an easier way, a cheaper way, and I would even argue the end of life is probably a lot better for just a single use monomaterial plastic like a PET or an HDPE, which has a high demand in recycling.
Yeah.
So I don't know, they're kind of cool, but that's, to me, it's marketing. It's not the best thing that we can possibly do.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to hate on them because they're
I
so
will.
inconsequential.
I'll hit all over them.
I know you will, but to me, they're so inconsequential in packaging because they cost so much. They take so much time to make and to fill, and then so the brands who want to do it, it's like, okay, that's your call, right? Like Wu-Tang going to Marrakesh to make packaging. It's like, that's your call, right? Like you can,
At least that's
do
cool.
it,
Right? At least that's
yeah.
cool.
I know, but like if somebody sent me somebody, or if somebody sent me enough money so that I could go buy the Wu-Tang album to support their paper bottle manufacturer, I'd be like, yeah, I'll sell out.
All right. So we've got a couple of guests coming on here today. We've got Chelsea and Brandon who've been on, who you've seen them comment. We got Brandon Jones. We're missing Brandon Gomes.
We need to get both of them on at the same time.
We do. I think
it'll be like Jet Li and the One.
Yeah.
Battle of the Brain.
Well.
Yeah.
So how are you guys doing today?
Doing good. Doing good.
Brandon, how was your Father's Day?
It was great. Thank you for asking. Go back here that I need to replace.
Yeah.
All right. So before we kind of get into what you guys do, what are your thoughts on paper bottles?
Man, I thought you were kind to call it marketing. I think it's greenwashing. I hate it. It's, for me, I have this interesting space I'm in of knowing like just enough about packaging and technicalities there, and then also being a consumer and hearing my friends and family talk about it. And I look at that and I go, people are buying it just to feel good about themselves, and they really don't understand any of the before or after. And yeah, so that's where I stand on paper bottles.
What's it you, Brandon?
Yeah, I think there's other sustainable solutions already that are out there. I mean, metal and glass, I think those are going to be a more sustainable solution than going with paper that, I mean, a lot of times you still have to include some plastic with, I mean, whether it be a plastic insert inside the paper bottle packaging or the closures. I mean, there's still plastic there, and if that's the goal to eliminate it, I mean, it's greenwashing. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna play Devil Went Down to Georgia advocate here, and this is why I called it an iteration, right? Like, because to me, let's say
that plastic.
Yeah, there's definitely plastic, right? Like there's no way that the Carlsberg beer is just really interacting with
coating, the lining, whatever it is.
Yeah. There's a plastic condom on the inside of that protecting the paper from the.
I think they call those barrier materials.
Barrier, there's meat diapers and plastic condoms.
God, that's a visual.
These are technical terms. But to me, it's like, imagine an aluminum can. And aluminum is really energy intensive to manufacture. And if you had that same amount of paper with that same thin amount of plastic on the inside, and you had a can that was made out of paper and a little bit of plastic, and that could go through paper recycling because, you know, there's plenty of like tapes and pieces of plastic that interact in corrugated. Paper recycling is similar to aluminum recycling. It's pretty violent and forgiving, whereas like monomaterial plastics have to be pretty perfect and clean to get through. So is that going to happen with this? No, the ones that we see right now. But would it be pretty cool to have, instead of aluminum, have paper? Because paper is a lot easier to make
it
than
would
aluminum.
be super cool.
To me, I'm like, that would be pretty awesome.
The infrastructure is probably the biggest challenge that we have anywhere, and Europe does it so much better than the States. But if we can't get infrastructure there and help people understand how to recycle from one municipality to the next, what's the point of any of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Not to be a downer.
No, it's fine. I mean, I mean, like Tetra Pak though is trying to build it out. That would be my point. Like they're trying to build out paper recycling with a mix of some type of foil and plastic on the inside of it. And so I'm not going to sit here and say that innovation is bad, but the current state of innovation with paper bottles is bad. But I like the idea. So that's where I'll land. If you want to send me $5 million as a paper bottle manufacturer, you can do so, or I'll send you a free Packaging Fashion T-shirt. I can be easily bought, is what I'm trying to say.
Noted. All the intensity this morning. I know Sunoco does a lot of really interesting things from a recycling standpoint, working with, they actually have a MRF of their own where they test run through the screens and everything. But it's a tough space, you know?
Let's talk about your space.
Sure.
So, Brandon, you've been a longtime listener, first time caller here on the Packaging Today show. So where do you call in from, or where do you comment in from? And meaning, where do you live, and what do y'all do at Industry Intelligence in a nutshell?
So I am calling in from Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, beautiful. That is one of my favorite cities in all of North America. The river, the whole thing.
I went to high school there.
You did not go to high school there. You're such a liar.
I was like, what? Really?
Yeah, he's a Greenville Tiger. Is that the mascot? I don't.
No. I was Tigers where I went, but
you're a Clemson Tiger.
Well, I am a Clemson Tiger, but not also. Yeah, that's another story.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're in the market intelligence space, and how we're different is we use a combination of human expertise and technology to filter through all the noise that's out there, and deliver relevant and highly curated insights and intel. And how that comes to fruition is we have a huge technology component, but we also have a human editorial team. We have experts in their industry, whether it be packaging, paper, forestry. They're reading, understanding the material that's coming in, tagging, rewriting some of the headlines to be executive summaries, to be designed to be a quick read, and then deliver a report of market intelligence that is going to be a pulse on your industry, your customers, your competitors, and that sort of.
Are the people really AI robots? Is that are they actual humans?
Did someone show you our office?
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I've seen it, and it's the dystopian future that our parents warned us about. No,
they look very real. They look very real.
It's interesting though, because I've been with the company forever. And it's changed a lot. I mean, it used to lean so heavily on just the human expertise and sourcing and journalism. And now there's so much technology tied into it for efficiency and being able to do more there. So it's exciting, but we do still have, real life people.
That's great.
So, all right. So then with respect to the paper bottle and recycling, with all the data you guys collect and kind of all the information you guys gather, how's this affected by, let's say, like new regulation that's happening out there?
Right. Yeah. So one thing that we're really excited about solving right now, because that's really what we look at as collaborating on challenges is around legislation, right? So we hear so many companies who have anxiety around what the legislation actually means. What does this next EPR bill mean? What does it mean if I can't use plastic bags anymore? What's the next straw ban? All of those pieces. But there's so many exceptions to it and so many details around it that you need, a legal degree to process that information half the time, or you need to pay a legal team or look to your lobbyists to explain these. So
Which I'm sure the lobbyists will be like, oh, we're going to tell you all of the correct
it's gonna
information.
cost you X dollars.
Yeah.
We don't even know that amount. There's not a sponsorship fee big enough.
Oh no, there is. Trust me.
Oh, is there? Okay, good.
Yeah, I'll take
They all have the Wu-Tang album for sure.
There's not a packaging T-shirt nice enough to get you what you need.
yeah.
But really looking at it from what regulations and bills are moving and in what way they're impacting people. And this is a big space where we are using the robots, right? It's very AI driven. But thinking about like, what are the key takeaways? Who's impacted? What are the funding measures? Who are the sponsors? And putting that into a format where those people who are sitting there making calls to their clients and the ones who are trying to understand what their production impacts are can have that more readily available so that they can make those decisions to stay ahead of it. And we talked with a company who will remain unnamed who, they ran into a real problem from a sales standpoint because they weren't in front of legislation and they were no longer compliant with their product in a certain region because of it. And it cost them an awful lot of money. Mm. So I think everybody's just really stressed about that right now and how to understand it, get their arms around it, get in front of it.
It was Enron, wasn't it? I knew it.
So
I haven't heard that name in a while.
All right. So then like a big point of conversation right now is EPR. Mm-hmm. But it's not, I think there's a lot of confusion around it. One is that some people feel like, okay, well, EPR is coming to the US, to North America. It's widespread, but it's not really widespread. It's only kind of in a couple of places.
Handful of states. Yeah.
And then like the one thing that I just learned was each state has their own PRO.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to then go in, you've got to register with each one. You've got to be able to track your measurement of your materials somehow.
Right.
You can check out you got to manage your specifications on all your packaging and then give it to them. And then they there's some formula they figure out because each state's a little different. Right? Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, and the other thing that becomes so difficult with EPR and working with the PROs, and this is the alphabet soup of it all, right, are the LCAs. You do your life cycle assessment and you arrive at a non-standardized answer. And so many times where you're doing this, like it can lean one way or another. There's not a key that you follow that everybody has to fit in. So yeah, I mean, it's a big mystery. And I think the more we can untangle it with educating people on what it actually means versus just sitting in this confused state, it just gets a lot more effective. It gets more effective for those partnerships that, the converters and the manufacturers have with their clients and what those clients are doing, from the CPGs working with retailers, and just what all of it looks like becomes a little less muddy.
So is it helpful like this? Because I have a long-standing belief that and I'm in sales, right? So that trusting people who have an agenda to sell you something is probably not the best idea. So for example, in the paper bottle salesperson is probably going to present to you the data that shows that this is a good idea, right? Or the plastic bottle person or the glass bottle person or the metal, whatever it is, they're probably, because they have a product to sell you, right? And so when it comes down to, and before it was consequential sort of, but not really, because you could claim stuff, the FTC would allow it. Now we have the FTC green guides and we have EPR. And it seems like what's happening is both the manufacturers are struggling to say, oh, I need to adjust my own sales strategy to be more consultative rather than
Mhm.
selling my thing. And the brands are struggling because they don't know necessarily what's true all the time because
Sure.
they're getting conflicting information. Is that it? Would that be a place where like industry intelligence would sit in as sort of
It
like a third party that just says, hey, we're just going to present you
Yeah.
curated data, or how does that work?
So, yes, and yes to all of that. The interesting thing that I heard someone saying the other day, a couple stories on this because we're talking about it an awful lot, is speaking with someone who is an R&D lead at a huge CPG. He's like, yeah, we have lobbyists, we have legal counsel, but there is a big gap from their understanding of packaging to their understanding of legalities. And so while they can flag things that they feel might be concerning, it really requires somebody who understands packaging and engineering and what the product looks like in order to know how it impacts their business. And it's that intersection that I think really needs a safety net, is not missing from a legal standpoint to a functional standpoint what's happening with this legislation.
Yep, for sure. Well, Velio, I know we've got a hard stop here in a couple minutes, so I'll let you wrap it up.
No, so I mean, I think so. If anybody's wanting to learn more about industry intelligence and kind of how that service can support them, what's the best place for them to go?
What do we do? Let me do this. Can I just drop a link into the chat? Is that possible?
It won't go out into the public chat, but what you could do is you could go on to one of our LinkedIn
I'll
posts
comment.
and then just comment with it. That would be great.
Yeah, we've got a weekly executive summary that anybody can come sign up for and just get to know a little bit more about what we do. So I'll share that link. And this was fun. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. So, so real quick before we wrap up, we got like 2 minutes. So, what can we expect with industry intelligence? What are we getting?
What are you getting? You are getting a quick scan every day of the information that helps you be an informed decision maker. And I think people sit there and go, I get too much information. I get Google alerts. I get trade publications. I get my internal BI team telling me stuff. But the same gap I described from your lobbyists and your legal counsel and your packaging engineer exists for anyone who's delivering information to people who are acting on it. And I think the more people you can inform directly, the better you do to go out and build those trusted relationships with your clients and make better strategic decisions, because everyone processes it with a different lens. So we really try to make it accessible.
Okay, now Brandon, I'm going to put you on the spot because Chelsea used her last name to describe what they do with a quick scan.
Right.
So I'm gonna ask you to use your last name to describe. Use it in a sentence, right? Like this is the spelling bee.
If I was quick enough on my feet, I'd come up with a good acronym, like just, only, never.
No, you're struggling here.
But
what about do you want to keep up with the Joneses?
yeah.
Come on, Brandon.
Or Brandon has young kids who keep him up late. I'm like, jonesing for information. Come on.
That would have been a good one too. Like I said, I'm not that quick on my feet.
That's fine. That's fine. But you know, I mean, if you're tired of counting crows and you want to keep up with Mr. Jones and me, that was a stretch. That was really.
I was hoping we'd save some time for you to share some bars like you were mentioning earlier. So that was the best I think we could have come up with right there.
No, we don't want that to happen.
No, but before he does it, he's got to fix his camera lighting because, you know, we got a picture of Adam here.
Yeah, that was. That's me right there. It's although I need to shave the beard.
Good movie, by the way.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. Powder, if you haven't seen it. All right, guys, check out Industry Intel to learn more. I think you guys go ahead and if you do have a good post on LinkedIn, tag us.
You bet.
We might be able to cover it next week. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Pizza live from Studio 3. This is Packaging Today with Evelio Matos, Adam